So FTX knocked another couple thousand.
Was the biggest level. I'd say you had all these small news cycles where, Daniel says level, but it wasn't like a 15% drop like FTX did. Like as soon as the FTX collapse was announced, everything just dropped 15%, like 20%. Like for ETH and Bitcoin, that's like a big move.
Hey guys, welcome to another CryptoSparta podcast.
We're back after a long layoff, like we said before, life priorities. And
We were looking at it though. There's just the FTX. Like, I mean, what else is there to say?
yeah,
But it's a deep dive, and so we're gonna deep dive. But as always, we're gonna start off with the markets.
we're gonna get the factual in the
Every angle. What's up with the sex
all
tape?
the memes,
Hey,
all the
is there a sex tape?
and that's the fun stuff. But like because of this FTX debacle, the markets crashed. And when Bitcoin a month ago was like 21,000, now it's 16,000.
There's been
back to when it was like kind of like bear from 2018 or 20.
Well, and there have been various legs down. And then the thing is, what I want to say is that I believe that there are contagion factors, and the dominoes, have they all fallen? And now, we've missed some time. Sorry to our listeners. But,
And then, but that's good. We got juicy content. It went from 1,600 to around like 1,200.
So the FTX contagion dropped it though. But what we're saying is, will the bad debt fall onto the other centralized exchanges? And so now Genesis, which I believe is the backing for, and I mean, these things all convoluted.
All lending
Everybody lends to each other. Yeah.
They use Genesis.
Gemini Earn.
Everyone was so affected by FTX because they were the main players. They were about to have a monopoly over the crypto game. It was about to be FTX and Binance, basically, and Kraken.
We've been through this before, just recently. Literally, 3AC.
Yeah, 3AC.
Literally, like
but
this has happened over and over again.
This is bigger.
It's a cycle. It's bigger, but I mean,
it's a centralized exchange.
But
like
it's expected.
The biggest. You could arguably say one of the biggest.
Brian, go back to the prices though. That's like your job.
BTC is 21K to 16K, and then ETH was at 1,600 to 1,200.
My point was though,
Sol got demolished. Sol got demolished because of SBF, and like it's almost like, how do they come back? The publicity is so bad. Like Sol is down to $10 right now.
So this is the mentality shift, and this is what I want to get at with Brian. Sol is oversold.
Yeah, they had it. So before the news,
oversold.
Before the news, we were gonna say they had a deal with Google, the cloud base.
They're doing well. They were backed properly. Like, and then this is what they talk about, like, throwing the baby out with the bathwater. There was all sorts of issues with Sol being too centralized. The thing is, I went to Sol Lisbon. There is big money backing Solana. If FTX and if SBF fails, if Sam Bankman-Fried is not there, does Sol exist? Yes. It's a very, very largely used blockchain network. This is the case against. Brian is saying it's over.
This might be a show. This might
be a show because it's just like there's so much bad press. There's people shorting. From what I heard, the interest on shorting Solana, what you're doing is you're borrowing Solana shares from someone that owns Solana and hoping that they go lower, and then you pay them back in Solana shares that cost cheaper that you buy on the open market. The interest rate to borrow Solana shares is like 40, and I might be wrong. Dude, it's very expensive to short Solana. Everyone is shorting Solana. Is it hammered into the ground?
Yes.
When everybody thinks a certain way.
Like shorting FTT, like that's already played right now. It's like down like 80%.
Well,
because
the biggest example is shorting GameStop. if everybody thinks that this place is dead, if your barber is telling you to invest, flip bearish, short them.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of the prices, the thing is, we're not doing this every week as we used to, and we'll be getting back to it. But there were legs down, and then each news story really. So FTX knocked another couple of thousand.
Was the biggest level. I'd say, like, you had all these small news cycles where, Daniel says level, but it wasn't like a 15% drop like FTX did. Like, as soon as the FTX collapse was announced, everything just dropped 15%. Like 20%. Like for ETH and Bitcoin, that's like a big move. And then obviously the altcoins that got affected, FTT, which was the main player where it got margin called. And that was basically the coin where everyone was raising their monies, got FTT tokens as a placeholder, basically, for their collateralized loans. And so when that collapsed, like, all of their loans went to zero, basically, or all their collateral.
I was gonna let you go on a rant, but I think that we should really forensically go back through what really happened. And the issue is that
do it.
We have to start at the beginning, because the way that Sam Bankman-Fried was running his company was that FTX had Alameda as a client.
Yeah, their research firm, their quant.
So this is the issue.
Sam Tabasco.
Yeah, Sam Trabucco and him, and then apparently they're trying to pin it on Sam Trabucco.
No, he left. That's what makes it like really, really, he had the foresight. I think that's why he left.
I just want to break it down for the listeners to have them really understand, because I feel like we might be losing them. The thing that I want to impress upon people is that, let's go to the basics. FTX is a place where you can trade different monies for different coins. And then the issue is that Alameda is an investment fund. So this is the issue with Glass-Steagall. And now I'm like losing people immediately, but I'm going to try to explain. When someone deposits funds to trade different currencies, that bank, let's call it a bank, should just give people the different currencies and take a fee. But the issue is, if that bank also lends money out to an investment firm, and if that investment firm is basically hand in hand with the bank, this is what the Glass-Steagall Act did, is that you're not allowed to speculate, which means invest or take out loans with the funds of the people that are just trying to do business and just hold their money in your bank. Now, this is normal, and if you're a bank, okay, you give out some loans and you expect some money back, and then you have certain deposits, but, hey, I'm not expected to just hold people's money, because people give me their money as deposits, and then what I do is I lend them out, and that's how I make money. But what if you lend your money out into crazy currencies that aren't worth anything, and you're in control of them?
Or even crazy currencies that seem in control, that you've manipulated to believe that they were safe, like FTT.
And you start lying about how much of the funds you have, and if you're holding the currencies that they say. So the bank that FTX was lending money to Alameda that was investing in speculative assets,
including Luna.
So was it illegal that Sam Bankman-Fried had a investment company that was then?
No, but like what's illegal is that he used customer funds.
No, what was illegal? No.
Yeah, against the contract.
No,
they explicitly said, and
so I've been trying to talk to lawyers about this, and then so I think that the illegal thing that he did was he was leaking private information about his clients that were investing on his platform to these hedge funds. I think that's what he'll get in trouble for. What we wonder, though,
they
will
also-
SBF
he
go to jail?
explicitly
Will
said-
he go to jail?
He explicitly said that, FTX does not use customer funds for, other trading.
So
he ended up
a
using
lot of
customer
clients.
funds.
No. A lot of. Really break it down. I'm an FTX client, and I want to take out leverage. I have $10 of Bitcoin, but I believe in Bitcoin and I want to take out 100x leverage or 2x leverage. These are two different examples. Okay, I want to take out a loan of $100, but I put in $10. That's expensive because I have to pay interest. That's the open interest. This is like a good explanation of how trading works. I'm leveraging myself to the gills. And if Bitcoin doesn't go up, eventually the interest will eat up my $10. If I do 2x leverage, the interest will slowly eat it up. But if I don't have enough collateral for the loan, if I have $10 and I borrow $10, but the value of dollars or Bitcoin, I take $10, but I put it all into Bitcoin. And I hope Bitcoin goes up against dollars. But what if it goes down? Eventually the bank calls a liquidation and then they take your collateral. Now, the issue is that Sam Bankman-Fried lent his own company money. Is this illegal? So Brian said, oh yeah, he gave clients money to himself, and then that's illegal. A lot of banks are under collateralized. So your local bank or the government bank, they don't have all the money that you give them. This is a known common statement. And then that's why there are bank runs. The issue is if Sam Bankman-Fried had over leveraged himself to the extent that is, everything was made up. He's taken out loans against things that don't exist. And
he's raising funds and he's telling.
But the manner that he did this was that all of the clients
believed him.
But all of the clients gave the money, and then what happened is the company that he lent the money to was also his, but it was legal. And then he lent them $10 billion, and it disappeared because they made bad investments. And then Sam Trabucco said, let's fill the holes with the client's money. But this was a legal loan. And then it's going to be, oh, tough shit. We fucked up.
But the thing is, Trabucco, he left like in the summer, way before any of this probably happened. But he knew. And that's like, remember we had the podcast, we said that when he left, we made a note of it. Maybe something's fishy, but he's on retired trying to vote more. It's like kind of questionable. And
so they're trying to pin it on Trabucco. Caroline is. And then, there's the gossip about the sex tape.
Yeah, so now, so basically at the end of this, let me summarize the facts is like, they're trying to get a bailout because they're gone under. Binance was going in. They were going to bail them out. Like, Binance was going to accumulate FTX. But then they said no. They looked into the financials and was like, damn, this is a mess. This is no way we can do this. And then comes the memes.
Should we back out, though? Because you're my Asian homie. And then he can be CZ. CZ played him like a fiddle.
Explain for the viewers.
He said he fudded. Can you define FUD?
FUD. To
fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
Yes.
So CZ said, "Hey, I don't know if FTX is chill.
FTT
but
is volatile.
I happen to own $500 million of FTT.
Yeah.
And then he's also my competitor. So he might be insolvent. So you guys should all sell. But I'm just letting you guys know because if I sell my $500 million stake, it might upset the markets.
Exactly.
Which
no,
is
no.
which
He's
is
like,
totally
yeah.
good.
He's like, FTT might be pretty volatile in the next.
Because of what I just tweeted.
Or what I'm about to do.
Yeah.
But he like gave
And
you a
then he was
heads
like-
up.
and he was
I'm
like-
about to drop a wave. I'm about to drop a wave
He's
in
like,
the ocean.
I don't want to mess up the markets, so I'm gonna let the markets know that I'm gonna sell
Yeah.
a lot
And then I'm gonna mess up the markets.
At the end of the
But
day,
it makes
can
it
you
less
blame him?
bad.
Can
Makes
you
it
blame
less
him?
bad.
But
No, you can't. But I mean, he gave you the common courtesy. It's like, yeah, you're gonna get fucked in the ass, but
you don't think he already sold beforehand? You don't think this was calculated? You don't think he was waiting for his time to pounce and kill his opponent?
But do you think he knew though? Like, why be involved in a fundraise?
I think he knew. I think he has the most perfect information, and no one has.
And he's
had
also
information.
really smart.
This
but
guy,
I don't know. I thought SPF was
the Enron
smart.
CEO. I mean,
Yeah. So they
unwinding the ball of yarn is very
the
complicated.
Chief, restructuring officer, the guy tasked to clean up this mess. He's been involved in the Enron cleanup. All these.
He said it's the worst he's ever seen.
Yeah, worse than Enron. And Enron was pretty bad. Like Enron, like triggered in a recession.
No, and this is worse than Bernie Madoff. I mean, it's a historical thing.
People are saying,
and
Martin Scarelli, he's like, yeah, I've been through the shit. And this guy's going to jail. And so if he says he's going to jail.
This is where it gets into the conspiratorial stuff where I love to dive in. And
Yeah,
then this is the
it.
reality.
We're going to
Sam Bankman-Fried donated millions of dollars to the Democratic Party. And it appears that on his balance sheet, he bet against Trump winning. So basically, he was taking clients' funds to gamble on the election that he was trying to influence. Tom Brady and Giselle, this is where it becomes...
Steph Curry.
This is huge. This is
Larry David.
Yeah.
Anyone involved in the FTX commercial is issued in a lawsuit now.
And now it's gonna be litigated, but I think that they're gonna paper it over.
Obviously, they're gonna settle.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, but really, this is like very sinister shit. And if he gets away with it, the
theories are going out. Like Alameda, their logo. There's a funny tweet where it's like, oh, these are the logos of known child molesters and
well, there was the guy.
And it's a pointy A. And that's exactly what Alameda's logo is.
And Sam Bankman-Fried, his mother is a Democratic bundler.
And his dad is like a lawyer or like a professor for, Democratic ties.
The FTX stuff is also having ripples where the people that they gave out loans to are also insolvent, and then they're not going to get an additional olive branch to keep going. So Genesis, guys, like it's going to keep getting worse.
Well, Gemini had a scare too, where it's like their lending program was in jeopardy, where even though it was a very low percent, like Chainlink, for example, you only got 1%. And just because of that, like, you couldn't withdraw your money. Like, not even a high APY. And so Gemini had a scare where there was hundreds of millions of dollars in withdrawals from Gemini were triggered because of the scare between Genesis. And so everyone, APY, any earn program is not safe. It's not safe.
Just lose your money in a Ponzi.
Just
learn your
lesson.
Just
buy and invest. Buy a meme coin. It's safer than anyone giving you an APY in this market.
Are we jumping to the shills?
No, we're not. We're not. But
I'm into the meme coins. I'm saying meme.
No, we're not going meme yet.
The world is dumb. I'm taking the black pill, the con pill.
Let's talk about the FTX memes though. The rumors. All the
sex tape.
All the non-factual stuff that's come up that's been so funny. and if you're like into crypto Twitter
This
like
is
us,
yeah.
this is like gives us joy during the day. Is like reading these memes and like reading these conspiracy theories.
So Caroline is in the news, and we should discuss who Caroline is. And then we should discuss exactly why she was talking about a Chinese harem. And I totally get it with her. Like, I get it. I get it. Caroline is the CEO of FTX. And, like, I think that they were doing musical chairs where it was Sam Bankman-Fried.
They were co-CEOs.
Sam Trabucco, and Caroline. And the thing is, there were the three of them. And Trabucco, apparently, they're trying to pin it on him. And I kind of believe it, where
that's why
Sam Bankman-Fried, he was just tossing money around. I saw the spreadsheet. It's disgusting because I know smart accounting people. And Sam Bankman-Fried had like $1 billion here, $1 billion there, and he was just la-di-da about it. And then, we were talking about Sam. He was on stimulants.
Yeah, so
he was playing video games.
There's a reason why he was vegan. We saw the posts of him grilling his vegan bacon and his Beyond Burger and showing us, what he eats. All those Forbes articles about him and his diet and how he's very altruistic. Like, there's a reason for that. And one conspiracy theory is that he was on a Parkinson drug that did not allow him to eat meat, so he could feel buzzed all the time.
Brian says that it's a conspiracy, but actually, I believe that it's pretty confirmed that the people at the firm were on stimulants, which is not a surprise to me.
Stimulants is not a surprise. Like, Adderall is a very common stimulant. But the fact that you're specifying it to be this very off-brand patch for Alzheimer's patients.
And Sam,
is like, where do you even get a doctor to prescribe you that?
They're off the grid.
Are you even on the black market? Like, where do you go on the black market to get this patch? Like, how am I getting this patch, this Alzheimer's drug?
They were saying too that there were rumors of them having sex parties, but people reported that if anything, they were undersexed and overstimulated. And apparently that there was an encouragement for people, and this is one of the legal issues, because I want to bring it back to, is he actually going to get in trouble? And
Probably
a lot
not.
of people say that he's not going to get in trouble,
Probably
which is
not.
insane.
Probably not.
Which is insane. And then there's some people saying that they're going to do a bailout, and there are some people saying the government is going to get involved and they're going to do CBDCs. And then this is the excuse for regulation.
He's getting a slap on the wrist. Or maybe it's a
Democratic... should go to jail. And then the therapist...
Is it a Democratic psyop?
It's a psyop for
to basically
sure.
make
to
him...
nuke crypto.
Nuke him as an example.
We need regulation.
Yes. You are the sacrificial lamb.
And then the frogs are being Alex Jones and
Conspiracy
I'm so
theory.
about it, but no, I'm so about
El Salvador's got fucked because of
FTX.
because they had all of their.
Why didn't they have it on a fucking ledger?
Wallet.
Come on,
El Salvador.
Porcodillo.
Yeah, Porcodillo.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck? Like everyone else, every smart person has their Bitcoin on a private,
DeFi,
on a ledger. No, on just cold storage.
FTX.
Cold storage.
Only reason to touch a centralized exchange is to purchase it and then to move it.
You're dealing with a country's financial system.
But this is a giant excuse for them to regulate.
Yeah,
this is a giant reason.
So, PSYOP, maybe, I don't know, are we turning into conspiracy theories now?
Well, dude, so apparently the people that have FTX accounts, they're going to get pennies on the dollar. Where did the money go? The money went to fucking Democrats. The money went to Biden.
The thing is,
how aren't you disgusted?
The thing is, too, is that immediately when the news went out with FTX, they paused withdrawals. But there's very high net worth individuals,
and they did fake Bahamas.
Allowing them to bail out specific accounts, high net worth individuals. They were trading NFTs on FTX.
We need to back up and slow down.
It's
But
crazy.
but this is crazy. So what was happening was that all of the funds were locked into FTX, but FTX US has all these stringent rules, but FTX, the global agency, they had different policies. And then the thing was, if you could make up an NFT, you could trade all of the coins that were being held because it was a trade instead of a cash out. And then in FTX US, you have to do it legally with the government. So you're tied to like everything was trapped. But then there were all these people shifting these coins. Even I don't understand. It's very difficult to explain. But there were people that there's a line. FTX owes 10, 15 billion. And then all these people cut the line because they shifted coins that were worth something through NFTs because they acted like they were Bahamian citizens. And then this was illegal because if you're not from the Bahamas, but apparently the Bahamas was charging people. So then all these people that were American citizens or foreign citizens were purchasing Bahamian passports to be able to get a bank account. And then they traded NFTs that were worthless for all their coins to get their coins off of FTX.
Well, then,
and they cut the line, and now there's going to be all sorts of customers that don't get their money back because all these people, and it was Algod. That was the main person.
Yeah, that was Algod got out. He got out. And as much as he wants to deny it,
act like he didn't. It was clear. And then
Zach
it's like,
XBP, it's on there. It's on chain, dude.
It's on chain, yeah, exactly. This is the point of crypto.
But the thing is too, is that they're using the series funds too to buy. They're using FTT coins.
They were
to buy luxury apartments in Bahamas.
They were
like, there's a reason why they're building headquarters in the Bahamas.
They were also sponsoring all sorts of like effective altruism bullshit. But then they were also giving money, and it's all a scam.
Caroline's pro harem, Chinese harem. Right.
They need to go to jail. They need to go to jail. And if they don't go to jail, and then Elon is on my side. Shout out Elon.
He shilled Doge. He jumped in on the FTX space. He was just shilling Doge to the moon. It didn't go to the moon.
If they don't go to jail, it's a psyop.
Yeah.
And this is not fake news. And this is not a tweet. I'm not going to get bored or, taken off the... It's just
yeah,
facts.
if they don't go to jail...
They did criminal things. No, but you know what?
They violated user agreements.
So what I heard that really is going to put them into jail is the fact that they were, it's the same as Robinhood, where it's payment to order flow. The issue, this is the deep down, the nitty gritty about what Sam Bankman-Fried was doing. They had a centralized exchange that was giving away the personal information of people that were trading on their accounts. So imagine that you're a whale and secretly you're on FTX and then you're trading and then you know where the liquidation levels are. FTX should keep that private, but they had all the information and then they gave it to Alameda. This is the biggest thing where why did Alameda go broke if they had all the perfect information? They know exactly. They had so much money to be able to be the whales and toss people around. If there's a low liquidity coin where there's only like 100 million, Alameda can just do $1 billion up and $1 billion down, and then they'll liquidate people on the short and the long side. If people are leveraged, and then that's what they're saying is that you can even hunt people on Bitcoin. But that's a really, really big market. And it's a big volume. But all these things boil down to trading levels. And Alameda had perfect information. How did they lose?
They're not good at math. They're not as good as their math as we thought they were. Like,
the emperor has no clothes. Everyone thought he was a genius.
So it's like you give a person enough money, like, yeah, they're making billions, but like percentage trading wise, it's a really low percentage of success. Like they're just throwing money at things and they're just making big splashes just to be in the news. Like they got FTX on MLB Empire uniforms. They got the naming rights for Miami stadium. So it's just crazy. It's like all that stuff just proves their legitimacy to the public. So like it's crazy that like FTX is just like and the lawsuit too with Larry David and Stephen Curry, Tom Brady, Giselle. Like it's going on and on. Like it's crazy.
Skirt. Okay, yeah.
So FTX stuff, crazy, and that's kind of affected the NFT market.
There was Tom Brady, Giselle Bundchen, and then all these celebrities.
Curry,
what we're gonna say is the Bored Ape, we flow to the NFTs. This is the NFT section, and the Bored Ape floor fell, and then there were people getting liquidated on their Bored Apes.
Yeah, people. So we mentioned like a while ago that there's platforms where you can use your Bored Ape or your NFT as collateral, and people were using that as collateral to get ETH back, and then
their liquidation level was 50 ETH, and it dropped below that, and then people were wondering. There's a very famous guy, Franklin. And they were wondering if he was underselling the floor to liquidate people to buy lower. And this is the way markets work. And I think that it's a very, very good way to explain how markets work, where if people lend their Bored Ape for
100 ETH,
and then it goes to 50 ETH, and then the bank is like, bro, you lent me your Bored Ape and I lent you some money, and then you got to pay me like 0.5 ETH every...
Yeah, your Bored Ape isn't worth as much as I lent out.
And you need to pay me interest. And then do you have that interest? Or is your asset that you lent me worth what I gave you as the loan?
So it's like gray area. It poses the question, like, is your Bored Ape really how much I lent out to you?
So then they create these markets for NFTs, and it's really interesting because I believe in the future of NFTs. I believe that NFTs will be the proof of ownership. I mean, at the end of the day, it's obvious. And then cut out all these middlemen. I get irritated that it's not already happening. And
we're still early. We're
very early.
Basement, preaching this stuff. So we're still early.
But why do we have to pay people to certify ownership when it should just be on the blockchain? The technology is already here. And as I've said before, 10 years ago, 10 years ago, I was working in India on mobile application softwares to be able to pay people and work on your mobile app. So for employees to work on their mobile app. Everything is on a phone now. I guess I'm just early, and I'm telling you, NFTs and loans against NFTs, and then having houses as NFTs, and having physical items as NFTs.
Your deed can be an NFT.
Everything, and then why trust a government?
On your phone.
Why not have it on the blockchain? It really doesn't make sense.
Well, on the blockchain that you can access through your phone.
But so, in terms of NFTs, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, there were all these people lending their Bored Apes to get enough money to borrow and buy more Bored Apes. So that's what Franklin did. But people are wondering if this guy is undercutting the floor. So all these people had their Bored Apes loaned out. And then if it went below 50, then what happens is the bank or the decentralized exchange that is giving them loans ends up taking their Bored Ape and auctioning it off. If you know this, and if you have the power to push the floor below the liquidation level, Why doesn't Franklin start selling Bored Apes at 45?
Yeah.
And then all these guys get liquidated, and then he buys their Bored Apes at 45, and then he waits to sell higher. So, I mean, in terms of NFTs, there's also a lot of stuff with, I believe, Matic. And a lot of the big brands, everything, yeah. I mean,
looking at NFTs, like, it's not going away for sure.
No.
Even though if you're not, it may not be in the news right now, but, you know, people are still building. Like, NFTs are there. It's not just gonna, like, be obsolete.
But,
so, yeah.
Let's get to the shows, yeah.
Let's go to the shows.
You want to go first?
Well, not in this economy am I buying anything right now. So, like, the thing is, if you look at the FTT, right, or the whole saga of the FTX, like, they basically use their crypto to get dollars out. That was, like, the end goal. They made it, you know, zigzag to different things, like Fugazi, like, transfer this into this into that you don't even know the origins. But, like, the end result was cash. So I'm stockpiling cash.
So what I was gonna say is that I'm Tsuka and then also Shiba Inu, and I believe that there's the era of the meme coin, because I've been saying, like I told Brian, hold your cash on the sideline. The winter is going to be bad because of the macro that's going to happen with Europe, where the shortage of gas is going to hit people hard. There is a statistical thing that in recessions and depressions, the lottery does well. People in South Korea have been talking about it, and then in the Asian countries, you know, the whole world, this is like a macro little speech where birth rates are down, people don't want to get marriages, people don't want to have kids, the birth rates are shrinking around the world unless you're in Africa or if you're Muslim or if you're like a fundamental Christian. These are facts. In Korea, Seoul, the property values to get a small apartment is like unaffordable for many, many people. And then in Seoul, I really like to focus on Korea because they just love video games and they love gambling. It's hopeless for people. And when things are hopeless, when there's depressions and recessions, actually, it's the casino is open. And so I think that Shiba Inu or Tsuka, I think that the meme coins are really the way to go, because this is the trough of everyone is hopeless. All of the younger people in retail, and then actually institutions have gotten hammered.
There's like no hope. There's like the hope is really dwindling in the economy right now.
Yeah.
Like there's like that's why it's like I say cash too, where it's just like, dang.
So I'm almost like on the flip side where I'm like, people go into cash, but like people are so scared. And then this is the balance. Eventually you get so scared that it has to tip back into favor.
Yeah. I mean, the meme coins is a trigger for a bull market, I'd say. When meme
it's
coins,
first
we
the
saw
meme coins because people just are so upset with themselves. They don't care. There's no way they're ever going to get a house. There's no way they're ever going to have a family, wife, kids. So meme coins. And I think that that's like where we're at, where literally everyone is hopeless. Yeah. Or the retail, I mean, do you want institutions? Institutions are on the sidelines. And I know this personally because I have like some insight into deal flow. Institutions are not gonna prop up crypto. They're all like not gonna touch it for a 10-foot pole, especially after FTX. They all put their money into FTX. They all put their money into like their homies instead of just being smart and putting it on chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're back. We've been this has been the latest episode of the CryptoSparta Podcast. Sorry it's been in between. There's been a long leg, but you know, life happens.
It kind of like balances out too. And like the big story is FTX, and then what do we have to know about it? It's a lesson in decentralization. come on, stop trusting these people that are connected to these rich, powerful people.
Yeah.
Trust yourself.
Yeah. Don't trust where all big money's talking about. That's the point of crypto.
Put everything on
equity and everyone else besides the big banks.
Self-ownership.
Yeah.
Like, get your stuff off of the decentralized.
Why trust centralized exchanges?
Put them on
MetaMask, Ledger. Get yourself a Ledger for Christmas. That's the show. Ask for a Ledger for Christmas. Ledger, give us a promo code. We'll promote your product. We like your product.
Yeah, shout out Ledger. All right. On that note, peace.